Namaskar. Let us continue with Jama and Niyama Sadhana. We have covered already all the Jamas, the principles that dealt with the external world. They were teaching us how to deal with the external world. What should be our expression? They were principles such as ahimsa, not harming by thoughts, words and actions, satya, benevolent truthfulness, asteya, non-stealing, and so on. Those principles, they stopped the acquisitions of the crude vibrations. By following them, you are not degenerating yourself, you are not crudifying yourself. And Niyama principles, they are not only stopping the acquisitions of the crude vibrations from the external world, but they also help us to purify, to clean up what is already there, because our mind is not ideally clean. So Niyama principles, they deal with building of our inner personality. They concerned with the creation of the strength of the mind, of achieving of the purity of the mind. So these principles are very important, and they are little more difficult than the Yama principles, because it is the second step on the ladder of yoga. Yama sadhana was the first step, and now it is the second step. It is more subtle. To control our actions, easier, but to control our mind is more difficult. So let us talk about them. The first principle of Niyama sadhana is called Shaucha. Shaucha means purity, cleanliness. It is the practice of cleanliness. Once our guru, he washed his hands, and then after 5 minutes again he washes his hands. And then someone asked him, "Master, why are you washing your hands? You just did it." He says, cleaning never ends. Cleaning never ends. Because it is just like an effort in meditation. Just like in meditation you are trying to achieve the higher state. So in this practice also you are trying to achieve the more pure state. So this is a sadhana. This is a practice of cleanliness. And this cleanliness has several aspects. One is external and one is internal. One is cleanliness of the physical realm, and another is cleanliness of the mental realm. One is easy, another is more difficult. What is concerned with the physical realm is quite easy. First, it is the cleanliness of environment. Some countries are quite good in this regard. You go on the street and you feel like you don't need to remove shoes anywhere because there is not a speck of dust. The governments, they take really good care about the cleanliness of the environment. And you can see that cleanliness will affect the mind of the population. Somehow they tend to be cultured, educated people. And this pollution, this chaos, creates the degenerations in the mind. So we need to take care about our environment. Sometimes with the sadhakas, the practitioners, we go and we clean the forest, the beach, the river, some corner of the street, and after cleaning that, we feel very good. We feel our mind is elevated. For example, you got sudden inspiration and you decided, let me clean my room really thoroughly. And you clean and clean and clean. You clean the windows, you clean the carpet, you clean your bed, you clean your clothes, everything. There is not one dust, there is not a speck of dust there. Everything has become sparkling. How you will feel after that? You will feel, let me not go anywhere. I enjoy this environment. Let me sit and enjoy the peace of my mind. This is one good way to overcome depression, to overcome different ailments of the mind. Just go and clean. You feel depressed? Go clean. You feel jealous? Go clean. You feel something? Go and clean. After cleaning, the peace will definitely, at least for some time, you will feel peaceful within. So this one part of sadhana. Another part of sadhana, take care of your clothes. Should be very proper, decent and clean. Every day at least we must clean our like t-shirt and underwear. Must be clean every day. Then comes the body. The body in the hot countries, twice a day shower. No compromise. In the northern countries, at least once a day we must take shower. Apart from shower, of course, teeth, brushing the teeth 2 times a day at least, better after every meal, and then cleaning the tongue. In the Western world, not everyone aware of this practice. First time in India they have this nice device called tongue cleaner. You can Google it out, tongue cleaner. So first time I tried, I saw what is in my tongue. I thought, oh, this will be practice for the rest of my life. You know, there are some excretions also in the tongue, and you clean it. You don't like to swallow them. So this is part of cleanliness. So you clean the body externally. Very easy to do. Armpits. Nowadays, many people, they remove the hair of the armpit and also the pubic area. They think it is for the cleanliness because the sweat is there and it makes smell. It produces the smell. But this hair is an organ of the body. It is the organ that provided by nature to keep the lymphatic system, the glandular system in balance. If you remove the hair, there will be overheating of the glandular system, and the result will be impure thoughts in the mind. But it is true that smell may be accumulated in here, so we need to very properly wash the hair with the soap and then put some oil and comb it also. So then this, anyway, I will talk about this practice a little bit later in another video. So this is another part. So maintaining a perfect condition of the body, maintaining the health of the body. Sometimes the body produces the smell, and the people, they use a lot of deodorant to avoid that smell, to hide that smell from other people, because I don't like to be smelly. It is natural instinct. We know that being smelly is not good. But the smell comes because of impurity. So instead of purifying ourselves, we try to hide. And yogis don't do like this. They don't hide, but rather they purify. The smell comes because of the lack of physical cleanliness. Let's say you are eating wrong food. Now I am coming to the internal physical cleanliness. Wrong food means meat, fish, egg, onion, garlic, alcohol, tobacco. This food comes under category of tamaguna. It is believed, it is considered in philosophy that everything in the world is under influence of 3 energies. 3 energies are working everywhere, but one of the energies is dominating. One energy is called sattva guna, sentient force. It is the force of joy, energy of joy, energy of purity. Another one is called raja guna. That energy creates agitation, creates commotion, movement. And then there is the energy of staticity. That energy creates crudeness. So food is also categorized on the principle of the domination of these energies. Some food which is beneficial for the mind and the body is considered to be sentient, joyful food, food of life. Another food which is exciting, making the mind run, making the mind move, is called rajasic food. And then finally, the food which is harmful, maybe or may not be harmful for the body, but definitely harmful for the mind, and most of the time also harmful for the body. That food is considered to be tamasic, or dark food, the impure food. So that type of food we try to avoid. I already have said, meat, fish, egg, mushroom, alcohol, tobacco, onion, garlic. So this food creates a strong impurity in the body and also in the mind. Finally, it will be reflected in the mind. So we try to avoid it. And many times I had this experience when, let's say, people come for yoga class and they don't follow the diet. Means they're just eating everything. And then when we do asanas, the glands will start to work, and then just the body will, it's like something opens up, and there is so much heavy smell comes out. That smell is heavy, and that smell I didn't notice with the established practitioners who are following the proper diet. So cleaning the body means following proper diet. Also, time to time, doing fasting, purification. When you don't take food, don't take water, it purifies the body, restores the body regenerates, it becomes younger. I will talk later about, in the later videos about that practice. I will very in depth, I will elaborate. So cleaning, and then also going toilet properly. For that need to drink water, drink enough water, like 3 liters of water per day. So these are all parts of the physical cleanliness. Now we come to the cleanliness of the mind. That is difficult, especially in the present world, in our commercial culture. It has become a common practice to pollute the mind of the population. Because when we see the pollution means like there are 3 energies, and also in the future classes of this meditation steps course, and in YouTube is already there will be classes on yoga psychology, biopsychology of yoga, and there I explain about the subtler system of the body, the system of chakras. There are 7 chakras, and the lower chakras, they generate the most primitive emotions of our mind, the animal stage of consciousness. So bad foods, bad thoughts, bad pictures, they stimulate the lower animalistic drives within our mind, and the mind flows towards the lower centers. It almost becomes animal-like. It loses its status, the human status. It degenerates, it descends to the lower centers. And naturally, we are not able to experience the realm of spirituality. We are not able to experience joy. So that needs to be carefully avoided. And nowadays the society stimulates the movies, songs, all these cultures. They are, like sexuality is very much promoted. It's the sexual appeal is always created. For example, sometimes you are passing by, there is like one shop for the washing the cars. You go to the car washing, I don't know what is in English. You need to wash your car, and the advertisement is there is one lady naked, almost naked, with a hose pipe, and she's washing your car. Come on, what is the connection between this naked lady and the car? There is no connection. It is only malevolent attempt to forcefully capture your attention, so you will look, and then you will be attracted to that business, to that service. It is invading your mind with the very powerful, forceful vibrations which are not very beneficial, that create degeneration, and they lead the mind towards unhappiness. So whenever we see something of that sort, we just need to turn away, to not to allow the mind, because the glandular system and the nervous system, it takes time to get agitated and excited. And if you remove your vision in the very first second, there will be no agitation. It will just pass unnoticed. But if you don't, then agitation will happen, and then next moment you will like to see, you will want to see, it will be difficult to withdraw. So that is the idea, not to allow. Also, like, there are swearing, bad words. Don't produce bad words, don't hear the bad words, don't read the bad stories, don't watch the bad films. The films that produce this, that stimulate to think about the human vices. What are the emotions that we need to channelize and we need to avoid? We need to transform we need to take energy from those emotions and bring that energy to the higher realms. There is this lust, anger, greed, jealousy, pride, attachment. These 6 emotions, they are considered to be enemies of the mind. When we feel those emotions, it means the mind has become impure. So if something in the external world stimulates your anger, you read the news, you become very angry. Okay, then don't read this news. What is the use? Better you remain in the state of peace. There is something that stimulates your greed. There is, I don't know, stock market or gaming process that you, I want to acquire this and this and this and this. Don't do that. Stay in peaceful condition. Something stimulates your jealousy. Don't look, don't hear that. So that is external, means don't allow the mind get stimulated by don't allow those enemies, those emotions be stimulated in your mind by the external stimulus. Avoid. Look for a good company. Bad company always stimulates the lower instincts, and bad company makes the person degenerated. Look for the good company. I observe when people come to, like, we have a center here in Siberia, Russia. People come and stay with us for 1 week, for 1 month, for 3 months, sometimes for 1 year. Sometimes they want to stay the whole life with us. And what I see, their behavior is immediately changed, because it is our culture. Our culture is different. Nobody swears. Nobody tries to express a very crude emotions. Everyone tries to be very decent. And we meditate, and we have very good food, and we fast, and we maintain a proper, just perfect way of life. So what I see when people come, first time you look at them, you don't feel any attraction, you don't feel any, that you want to really speak with that person, be with that person, because he's just like a sparrow, a very gray. There is no emanation of life, there is no radiation of light from him or her. But after 1 month being together and practicing sadhana, life awakens, light awakens, joy awakens. And that is the state of purity, nothing else. It is only purity, purity of mind and the body. And that person becomes so beautiful, without makeup, without deodorants, but so beautiful. You cannot imagine how it happens. So keep good environment. Don't go into the bad environment. Books, films, people, good nature. And then the final portion of the cleanliness is the innermost cleanliness of the mind. Let's say I'm staying in a very pure environment, but from the past, from the bad influences of the past, I have already seen, I have already watched, I have already heard some things that disturb my mind. Some people were watching like horror movies in the past. So in the night they dream some zombie comes, zombie apocalypse, or they kill someone in the dream. Violent they wake up, palpitations of the heart. So it is there already in the mind. How to liberate ourselves from those influences. It is by imposing an opposite idea. One impositions we are already doing. Baba Nam Kevalam mantra. Or if you were fortunate enough to get personal mantra, if you have got initiation, that mantra imposes super pure idea. I am one with the Supreme Entity. Love is all there is. So that is the highermost idea. And that idea will eventually purify the mind from all the impurities. But also, apart from mantra, we should make an effort to impose the opposite feeling. Let's say you are feeling angry. You are feeling angry. Anger is there. So overcome anger by non-anger. Cultivate the opposite feeling. He is my friend. Try to understand and then remove that anger. Try not to go into that rage and start to express it externally, but rather you breathe in, breathe out, take half bath, diver's reflex, cool down your body and remain without anger. Let's say you feel jealousy. I have already released the video about the jealousy. There is one shloka, Maitri Karuna Mudita Upekshanam Sukha Dukha Punya Punya Vishayanam Bhavanata Chitta Prasadanam. It is about, if you're feeling jealous, let's say person is happy, and because he is happy, you are feeling unhappy. When someone is unhappy, you are feeling happy. This is called jealousy. So in that shloka, in that video you can watch, and there is a way how to overcome jealousy. It's by cultivation of the opposite feeling. Feel he is my friend. Feel joy. That someone is successful, you are feeling joyful. I am so happy that someone is progressing. Or someone is unhappy. Feel compassion. Superimpose that feeling of compassion instead of, feeling of this malice and you feeling happy when someone is unhappy. If you are feeling, let's say, greed, many people are stingy. They have so much money, will not give 1 penny to anyone. And if give 1 penny, the whole day will feel unhappy. By mistake, I have made a donation. So, overcome with the opposite feeling. Start to do some charity. Find a decent charity foundation. Find someone whom you can help, who is in need, and give and help. You go out of your house, take something with you, some food. You see the homeless, give to him. Spend, let's say you earn $25,000 per year, or let's say you earn $100,000 per year. Donate $1, $10, $100. It is not considered as a big sacrifice. It is not really making you great, but it makes your mind pure. You will not suffer if you just part from $100 or $10. You will not suffer much, but the purity of the mind will be established. And first you will feel that there is some, the mind is reacting, doesn't want to donate. But after you have done it 2, 3, 4 times, you feel joyful. It becomes like you are high, like you are, you're doping. You would like to give someone. Today I have not given anything. I would like to give. And immediately you hear somewhere something happens. Some good charity foundation needs money. Oh, here, $50, $100. Let me give. Then you become free from that defect of the mind. So similarly, with all the negative feelings, we need to impose opposite idea. and impose it until we become free from that. So this is the practice of Shaucha. For the next week, and actually for the whole life, try to practice it. For the next week, try to really understand it. Understand the benefit. And write in the comments if you have benefited or not. Try to experience it in your own person, whether it is beneficial or not. Clean the environment. Clean it very, very meticulously. Clean the body. Clean your tongue. Clean your bowels. Drink water. Take proper food. Try it for 1 month. Take very proper food, sentient food. Sentient diet. Sattvic food. Lacto-vegetarian food. Clean the body. Take proper diet. Avoid something that stimulates lower instincts within you, and impose the opposite idea. Positive thinking. Change negative thoughts with a positive thought. Oh, I'm suffering. I'm so sad. Think, I'm so happy. I'm so grateful. So in this way, you will establish yourself in the practice of Shaucha. And you know, the practice of meditation is so extremely powerful. It will always bring the tears of joy in your eyes, provided you are following Jama Niyama, which is the greatest challenge in the present world. So now I have brought your attention towards this practice. I'm sure you know yourself very much. It is nothing new. I did not discover the America. It is nothing new. You know it very well. Just I brought your attention to it. Try to practice, and you will see there is a connection between your inner joy and your cleanliness. Thank you very much. Namaskar.